Hello, my name's Cullen Wino, and this is my SGDQ submission video for True Crime Streets of LA 80% Poor Ending. So the time is going to start as soon as you press enter after putting in your file name. Any second now. Alrighty. So a few things about True Crime. So True Crime Streets of LA is a third-person open world shooter game where you play as a police officer. And as you can see right now, I'm very clearly not playing as a police officer. So right now I'm playing as a zombie. What you can do with this game with the file names is you can put in different file names, and what it lets you do is it lets you play as different skins. So you can choose from a variety of skins. You can even play as Snoop Dogg if you want. But yeah, what we're doing right now in the game is we're just in a shooting range right now. We're just shooting some targets because we're a police officer. And we gotta shoot some targets before we're allowed to go out on the field. So this game has a few types of levels. It has open world levels, it has fist fight levels, and shooting levels. But those are the three basic big types. There's also racing levels. But now that we're done with the shooting range, what we gotta do now is we gotta rush to the EOD. We gotta meet our boss. Now we've got a time limit in the bottom corner of the screen, but time limit's basically a joke. And if you notice, I stop and I get out of my car and I take this sports car. Now a big thing about this game that makes it fast is the cars that you can pick up along the way. Now the starter car that you use is not really that quick by default. So usually if you see a sports car, you're gonna want to try to stop and take it. It only loses a few seconds on the immediate split, but it can definitely save you quite a lot of time over the next couple splits. But yeah, we were just finishing up this driving level. Driving levels are pretty optimal. There's been a lot of work put in over the past couple weeks and months by the community trying to figure out ways to make this game a lot faster. And one of the biggest recent reroutes is actually shown here, because in the old route, what we would do is we would stop by another shooting range so we could unlock an aim assistance upgrade, but we don't actually need that. We found out that by taking that out of the run, it saves like 30 to 40 seconds, so that's what we do. But yeah, right now we're just making our way to a Chinese food restaurant, because this game, it does have a story. It's a Grand Theft Auto clone with a story. And in the story, we're supposed to be meeting our partner for lunch. But yeah, what we're doing is we're just trying to park really quickly and just get inside as fast as possible. But now we're on to one of the fighting levels. Now, fighting in this game is pretty methodical. There's a pretty good formula you gotta follow. If you just do 4 quick kicks onto most targets, you can just combo them into the wall. And that combo does a good amount of damage. It's a good way to eliminate targets pretty quickly in hand-to-hand combat. And yeah, we're just going to combo this guy into the wall. Yeah, so there's a little bit of RNG in this game when it comes to hand-to-hand fights, with characters choosing to block or not. But we've got different ways to get around that by using different attacks or grapples. But coming up next, we've got the part where we shoot the guy outside the Chinese restaurant because he pulled out a gun or something. And he also shot my partner. Yeah, that's not good. So we're just going to get rid of that guy. And that's it for the first chapter. So this game is organized into several different episodes. In this category, 80% poor ending, what we do is after the third episode, it gives us an option where we can continue into the regular fourth chapter, or we can branch off and take the poor ending. So we go into the poor ending on purpose. It's pretty quick and pretty competitive. So yeah, this category involves the first 3 major chapters in the regular game, and we just do 2 alternate other chapters. But those chapters have quite a lot of skips. You'll see pretty soon. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're just stopping by our brother's dojo. Got a little fight scene up ahead. But yeah, this, as you can see, we saved quite a bit of time on that split just because of the advantage that we have by being able to drive a fast car. And now once again, we are fighting somebody. He's giving me a little bit of difficulty with blocking, but we're just going to combo him to the wall. A little bit short, but it doesn't matter. Only loses about a second or two each time. But yeah, with fights like this, it's really important to make sure that you can combo the guy into the wall so they can bounce off and take extra damage. Yeah, you gotta make sure you do that every single time you can, because it makes fights just so much quicker. I'm just gonna wrap this fight up, gonna combo that guy into the wall. And coming up next, we have a racing level. Pretty exciting. It's basically an auto scroller, although I don't feel like describing it as an auto scroller is really doing the game justice, but really it's just a quick short race. Like, unless you go way out of your way, like, it's impossible to fail one of these races, especially with the routes that we've come up with that are really consistent and quick. What we do here is a relatively new addition. We just take a left, cut through the park in front of City Hall. And yeah, throughout this run we're going to be dodging traffic, because traffic, whenever it hits us, that's pretty slow. And we're trying to avoid doing slow things. But yeah, now we're at the Red Lantern Bar. So we're now fighting this Fang guy who beat up the owner of the bar. And obviously we have a problem with that, so we're going to beat him up. Now, it's the same principle with any of the other hand-to-hand fights. We're just going to be beating him up and then comboing them into the wall. Yeah, but this guy, he likes to block a lot. There are other bosses later in the run which are pretty tricky. They block a whole lot. There's actually 2 problematic bosses later on the run, but we will get to them later. Really, the most difficult parts of the game are the hand-to-hand fighting sections. None of the shooting sections or even the driving sections are that difficult. They're mostly pretty consistent, and it's pretty hard to lose time on those. But yeah, we're just going to beat this guy up and combo him into the wall. Alright, so with this, depending on how our RNG goes, we've got one of 2 choices. We can either chase down the guy on foot or steal a car. And let's see, we're just going to chase him on foot because a fast car did not spawn right next to me. So, like, if we have good luck, a fast car will spawn right next to us. So we can take the car and then we can run the guy over. But what I'm doing now is, instead of stealing one of the slower cars that are next to me, I'm just going to chase the guy on foot. And the reason I'm doing that is because for most levels, when you finish them, the car that you had before, it persists, like you get to keep it in the next level. So I had a really fast car, and I didn't want to lose it by taking a slower car. So we lost a little bit of time on that split, but we're going to save a ton more time on this next one. But yeah, now we're driving to Jimmy's hideout. We're just going to take a little shortcut. We're just going to drive completely across this gigantic parking lot. I think that's a parking lot for the arena right there. Yeah, so as you can probably tell by the street names up at the top of the screen, this game is it's a really faithful recreation of real-life Los Angeles. The streets they're not identical, but they're really close in most places. Usually it gets kind of weird around the edges of the map where they draw the borders, but for the most part, inside the city, it's really faithful to reality, at least when it comes to where the streets are. And that's actually going to help us out later in the run with some reroutes that we did. Yeah, you guys are going to like them. It's some of the most out-of-the-box rerouting I've ever seen. Definitely really unique. But yeah, we're just going to slam on our brakes and we're just going to walk into this warehouse kind of thing. Well, that introduces us to the stealth levels. Oh, I forgot about those. Or did I? I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, what we're going to be doing is we're just sneaking into this warehouse. Now, stealth levels are pretty easy. Usually there's one pretty good path for you to follow. Yeah, but what we're doing now is we're just eliminating the guards. Because if we get spotted long enough, which you can see by those question marks up near their heads in the top right corner, yeah, then we get caught and we fail the mission, and we don't want to do that, or at least we don't want to do that just yet. And you'll see some of that later. Alright, now we're on to a shooting level. Now this one's pretty easy. We're just gonna go around in order, shooting the guards. They all spawn at the same time. We're gonna pick up that guy's gun, and we're gonna use that to kill the other guards in this level a lot quicker. Yeah, luckily they all spawn in the same locations every time, so there isn't really any problems with being able to kill them quickly other than remembering where they are. And I've done this enough times, I'm pretty sure I remember where they are most of the time. But yeah, and coming up, we've got a very interesting sniper level. Now this is one of those levels that's made a little bit slower by not getting the upgrade where you gives you aim assistance. So what the aim assistance upgrade does is it lets you zoom in and perform headshots. So with that upgrade, you can just walk up to that guy, just zoom in, just shoot him once, and then the fight's over. But it isn't that much slower just to shoot him regularly with your guns. Another thing you can do with the aim assistance is you can shoot the license plates of cars and have the cars blow up for some reason, which we need to do once in this run. But yeah, that's it for the second episode of this game. Moving on to the next chapter. It's just a short driving sequence, but we make that pretty quick with this car. And even without the fast car, it's still not that long. But coming up next is this one scene that has given me and other runners of this game a lot of trouble in the past, but we were actually able to find out a really consistent manipulation for the AI, which has made a really tough level, a really big reset point. We've made that just about completely 100% consistent. And that's really good, because now we can lose the run to stuff later on. But yeah, quick navigation. We're going to try to stay out of the sidewalk so we can just drive straight down the road. Looks like we're just about there at our destination. Alrighty, so up next we have one of the most, historically most dreaded levels in this entire game, Tailing Chong's Limo. Now, this level, it used to suck, because it's a difficult tailing sequence where you have to follow this limo, and you don't know if it's going to take a... Basically, what you want it to do is you want it to go straight the entire time. And if it takes a left turn or a right turn or gets caught in traffic, then, yeah, you just lose time for free. However, what we discovered is that if you just move the camera back so it faces away, so it faces behind you, yeah, much like other games like The Simpsons Hit and Run, yeah, so traffic in front of you just does not spawn at all. If you notice, the cars behind me that are spawning. So what that means is we can essentially make it so that the limo has no reason to want to turn left or right. So it doesn't have to deal with traffic. So it'll basically just go forward at full speed, blast through every single red light, and just make it to its destination as quickly as possible without taking any turns that lose time. But yeah, this segment used to be considered just 100% luck for the longest time, but we were able to find this consistent setup to make it a lot easier to be used in runs. I even entertained the idea of a reroute to try to get this part out of the run, just because it was so bad at one point. But I'm really happy we were able to figure out a way to do this while also keeping it in the run. But yeah, now we have a chase sequence. So after the limousine tailing sequence, we're getting chased by a bunch of people in a car. However, if we just take a left and cut through that weird side alleyway, yeah, they don't really know how to get to us. So yeah, we just basically solve that in just no time at all. Like, they don't know what to do. We're just done. Pretty quick chase sequence. But yeah, what we're doing now is we're heading to a spa. We're gonna infiltrate the place. Hopefully find out more about the story. I forgot about the story. You know, it's there, but it isn't really like the first thing I think of when it comes to this game. But yeah, having a little bit of a traffic problems. Usually, in most cases, what we would do is if we have a fast car, is we will try to remember to point our camera backwards so traffic in front of us doesn't spawn. However, in this case, I'm still sort of looking for a fast car. But yeah, it's not really super necessary at this point because we already have one. Alrighty. Or no, we don't have one. Well, we don't need one, and I'll explain that pretty soon. So now that we're done with that driving sequence, we're gonna infiltrate the spa. Now, this is another pretty simple, pretty straightforward driving, or I'm sorry, stealth sequence. We're just gonna sneak our way through. There's actually a little skip. We can just walk right past that guy, and he never notices us. We're just gonna knock her over. A little bit of stealth. Sneak behind that guy. But yeah, I would say that the first 3 chapters are probably the most optimized out of any of the other chapters. Because of all of the recent reroutes and discoveries that have made them just so quick. I feel like more stuff could be discovered in the 4th and 5th episodes of this, but I feel like a lot more work needs to be put in. There's so many mysteries this game has. We thought this game was done at 40 minutes, and we're already at 38, with 36 looking possible. But yeah, clearly this game has a lot more to go. But now we're in the showers. We're fighting these guys wearing towels. We're just beating them up. Same thing as always. We're just gonna kick them 4 times, and then we're gonna combo them into the wall. However, in this case, we're trying not to combo them into each other because that's actually slow, because it doesn't actually do that much damage to them if you combo them into somebody else. Like, basically, no matter what, you want to try to combo them into the wall, which is what I do. Yeah, but in that case, those guys were low enough, so it didn't matter. We could just kick them. Alright, now it's time for the little mini-boss. This guy's name is Misha, but you don't really find that out unless you play through one of the longer categories. You actually fight this guy a few times in other categories, like any percent, average ending, or best ending. Yeah, but we're just going to kick this guy around. Basically, any solid surface wall will do. We're just going to combo him into it. We try to avoid the stalls, because those first 3 stalls are breakable, but they don't do damage if you knock them into them, so there's really no point. But yeah, we're just going to combo this guy. Looks like no combo is necessary, but he was blocking a little bit toward the end, and that can be a little bit inconvenient sometimes. Alright, so now we have the big shootout sequence at the end. Now this used to be pretty tricky, but we've got it down to a science now. So basically what we do is we just go in order around the room. So 3 people come out of that first door, and then 2 come out of this door over here, and then 2 more come. Yeah, so basically what we do here is we just go in circles, trying to shoot them as soon as they come out of each door. What we do is we get that guy on the right, because usually what happens is the people on that side of the door, usually one of them gets shot by the other guy, so less people you gotta shoot. Yeah, we're going around. A couple more people on this side we gotta kill. Just get all 3 of them, or 3 or 4 of them at once. And this level's just about over. We just gotta collect weapons off the floor. There's 1 more guard we gotta kill. And we got him. Alright, so now this is for the mini-boss. Now, we thought it would be quick to just use the, whatever the aim assistance to kill that guy quickly with a headshot. But no, it's actually quicker just to grab a bunch of guns and shoot him. Alright, but so what we're doing now is we are going into the alternate episode 4. And now this is the interesting part. So what we used to do is we used to go straight down that way and then take a left. But, however, I got the idea. You know, this game is realistically modeled after LA. You know, all the streets are there. So that got me thinking, what if I used Google Maps? Because you can see the addresses at the top of the screen. So I just wondered, you know, what if you could use Google Maps? And so that's what I did. So I put everything in Google Maps. You know, I put the two addresses, you know, point A, point B, and I found out that just getting on the freeway here was over 30 seconds faster than taking the old way. Now, this is huge in a category in a game like this because we thought it was really really optimized. We thought that 39 would be barely possible in this game, but with the help of the Google Maps reroute, we were able to make this game so much faster than we ever thought before. So yeah, what we do is we actually follow the street signs. So we're supposed to get off at Hollywood Boulevard. So we just get off at that exit. Yeah, it's actually really, really cool how just incredibly detailed the streets are in this game in relation to real life. Because we actually were able to use a resource such as Google Maps to figure out the fastest way to get from point A to point B in this game. And we actually do that again later on in this run, at the start of the final episode. But yeah, we're just wrapping up this really quick driving sequence. We just made a joke out of it with the Google Maps strategy. Alright, so now we've got the club fight. This one's pretty easy most of the time, but it can be tricky. So what we're trying to do is we're just trying to combo this girl onto that wall. And we're going to try to grab the attention of one of the other girls. But this fight can be tricky because what happens a lot of times is both of the girls, the first one and the girl on the side, they'll both attack you at the same time, which is not really what most NPCs in this game do. They're really just an exception, and they're pretty annoying at that. But yeah, a lot of these girls are pretty weak. You can one-cycle them. If you just hit them 4 times and then kick them into a wall, that's good enough to defeat them. But that does not apply to the first 2 girls that you fight. But yeah, what happens here is you can see she's blocking a lot, so I'm just repeatedly kicking her, and we finally broke through and just going to combo her into the stage in the center. But yeah, this fight can be a little bit tricky, but it's mostly consistent. And this is one of the girls that you can one-cycle, so I'm just going to kick her 3 times, and we're just going to combo her into the wall. I'm gonna finish this other girl off. Alright, and this is another girl that you can just one-cycle. She kind of glitched between the seat there. It's a little bit weird. But yeah, so we're gonna beat up all these girls, and then when we're done, we gotta fight the owner of the place, I think. Or at least I think he's the owner. He's just this pretty gross looking guy. And you see she did a pretty weird grapple. NPCs can do the same attacks that you can, but they can also grapple sometimes, and if you're not careful, it can be pretty annoying. There's this one pretty difficult boss fight at the end of this chapter where the girl you fight uses a bunch of really tough attacks. It's pretty annoying, but you know, if you just play well, you shouldn't have a problem with dealing with her. Alright, we're just trying to beat this guy up. He's blocking a little bit, but we can break through his blocks and just kick him and combo him onto that stage in the middle. And we're just going to combo him. And that's it for him. Alrighty, now up next we've got a little short driving sequence. It's pretty short. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's like probably the shortest driving sequence in the entire game, honestly, or at least in this category. It's not very long. You just drive down the street. Although I'm pretty sure the race at the beginning of the game is just a little bit shorter than this. But either way, it's not a very long distance. You have to drive it all. Alrighty, so coming up next, we've got another silly sequence where we have to race against the clock. But that one's pretty easy. Only problem is sometimes the cutscene at the beginning takes a while to skip. Now we don't know what makes it fast or slow to skip, but yeah, I'm mashing the escape key right now, and it's not really working. So really, it's just random. Like we don't know what causes it. So it's really just luck whether or not you can get a quick cutscene skip or not. But usually it doesn't take longer than 10 seconds. And you're still driving forward while you're trying to skip the cutscene. So it doesn't lose that much time. Still, it's annoying. It's annoying if it gets really out of hand. But yeah, what we do here is we're just driving straight. We're in a van with the girl that we have to fight later on in the chapter. So we're actually undercover right now with this girl in the car, Lola. And she is pretty tough. So even though we're driving a really slow van right now, we actually can't get out and get another car because this is a weird kind of racing level. So yeah, we can't swap out for a sports car or anything like that. That does not really work. If you try to get out of your car in this level, Nick just says, "Oh, I can't do that," or "Oh, that would be stupid." So you don't really have any other choice but to just drive with this car. And usually what you want to do at the start of the next chapter is you want to try to find a faster car than the van, but because it's pretty slow, but it's not the slowest car you can have. Alright, and now we've got the police getaway. And this one's pretty simple. We're just going to slam on our brakes, shoot this guy enough times for his car to stop. And we're just going to drive away. Alright, now up next we have a part that is the bane of every true crime runner's existence. We've got the Lola fight. Now, the fight with Lola, this is the second hardest boss fight in the game. I believe in the entire game this is like the third or fourth hardest total, but this one is a pain. So what we've got is Lola, and as you can see, she's doing these really tough attacks. She's got a couple really difficult, unique attacks. So what she can do is she can grapple you, and that's difficult. But she also does this really annoying cartwheel attack, which you'll probably get to see in a little bit. She does this cartwheel attack, which is, you can counter it, but what can happen sometimes is she can start the cartwheel attack. See, you see she steps back to do the cartwheel attack. What happens sometimes, like really rarely, is she starts the cartwheel attack before you even gain control of the character, so you're already at a health disadvantage at the start of the fight. And so that can be pretty annoying, but yeah, we got pretty lucky here on this Lola fight. Usually we can get it done like any given run, we can usually get done within like 30 or 40 seconds. Like there's a good amount of like fluctuation for difficulty of the fight, but yeah, we just make quick work of Lola. That was a pretty decent fight. Yeah, and now we've got the sniper fight. Alright, so we try to arrest Lola, and then Lola gets shot by a sniper. So now we gotta kill the sniper. And what we're doing here is we're just shooting that guy up in that shopping center over there. Now this fight is pretty simple. It's another one of those fights that would have been made quicker by taking the upgrade in like the aim assistance upgrade, but Yeah, we still don't do that because this is one of the 3 or 4 instances where it actually saves some time, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. But yeah, that's it for the 4th episode. As you can see right here, I make a little bit of a mistake. I make a miss warp, press the wrong button. So what I do is I just go back and reload the game. Yeah, so what we do is we skip the upgrade sequences. So the way the game does upgrades, like special upgrades, is it takes you to a special level after you finish the chapter and basically drive around. And it gives you a choice of like upgrading your guns or your car or your combat. And so you just drive to like one of 3 locations to do it. But yeah, that's not very fast in any percent. So we just pretty much avoid doing that. But now we're on the longest single most, yeah, it's the single longest interrupted driving sequence in the game. And this level used to be so much worse. But this is another instance where with Google Maps, we're able to make this a lot faster. So what we're doing is we're just trying to get that guy out of the way. So what we used to do is we used to take a right and then take National Boulevard. However, with Google Maps, we can just go straight and just take Palms Boulevard the entire way there. And with some timing, I found out with the fastest car in the game, it actually saves 30 seconds off of the old route, which is really nice. But yeah, I don't think I got lucky. I think if I did get lucky, I got lucky at the very end because for some reason, the game likes to deny giving you fast cars during this driving sequence. You're basically on your own. It's pretty stupid, pretty unfortunate. But yeah. For some reason, the game does not like to spawn fast cars on this long stretch of road. Like they only like to spawn it once you're close to the end, where you'll save like less time, but you'll still save time because there's so much driving. But it's just unfortunate, but that can happen sometimes. But as you can see here, I swerved because I thought that car was a fast car, but nope, it was not. See, there are cars that I could have taken that are faster than this one, but they don't really make up for the time loss, or they barely make up for the time loss of stopping and getting them. But, yeah. We're just going to turn here. Thank you, Google Maps. And then, let's see. Is that... No, that's a taxi. I thought that was a sports car. I was going to say, like, oh, why didn't I stop and take that? But yeah, well, now we're just finishing up. So right now, in the story, we're supposed to be heading to the airport. The Santa Monica airport, not LAX. Because the game world does not include LAX. It's just short of it. But I think it's pretty cool how this game had an airport in it. Even if it wasn't a major one. But yeah, now coming up, we've got the single biggest sequence break in the entire run. So what we're going to be doing now is we're just going to be blowing up our car and killing ourselves on purpose. And so the way this game is organized is if you fail a level, you can continue it. It lets you continue the story even if you fail a level. So what we're doing is we're just going to fail this level, and it's going to skip the next chapter, which is a long driving sequence. And so we're going to be put outside of the hotel, outside of the bank, because they're robbing the bank. So, and what we're going to do here is we're going to blow ourselves up here yet again. And doing this, it'll skip the outside sequence along with the lobby. And it's going to take us to this alternate sequence where we just go, we're in the offices. So we just have this level, and then after this, we've got the final boss. But yeah, this game is definitely unique with how it presented like story, especially if like it's linear, but it takes into consideration like, oh, what if you fail this level, and just say, I want to keep going. But yeah, this part called Going Up, it's pretty tricky. I actually die in this, I believe, because I get unlucky with some of the guards. I think sort of close up next. Yeah, I think I get killed by the shotgun guy. No, the pistol guys, they get me. Yeah, so those guys are really important. You want to make sure to kill them as soon as you can because they can mess you up. The shotgun guy at the end, and there's also a shotgun guy earlier in the second floor that can cause a lot of problems for you. So, yeah, we just try to get rid of those guys as soon as we can. But as you can see here, I replayed the level, just started over from the beginning. And we still saved a little bit of time on this off of my personal best. But yeah, what we can do is, if at any point, like, we fail, like, if you fail in the final boss, what it does is, like, it's still, like, you still get an ending for the game. Like, you still finish. It's just, like, the bad ending. Like, so even though you're on the poor ending, there's a good poor ending and there's a bad poor ending. So if you fail during the final boss and, like, die, then you get the bad poor ending where you just get thrown off of the skyscraper. It's pretty sad, but it's still an option. Yeah, just getting shot and thrown off the skyscraper, that is an ending. But yeah, we're just heading through this part, the high rise. We're just making our way through the offices. We're rolling because it's quicker than walking. But yeah, we're just going around, shooting people occasionally. Now we got these two shotgun guys at the end. It can be a little bit tricky, but if you get them early, they're not that big of a problem. But yeah, we're going to grab one of those shotguns because there's a whole bunch of people that come out at once around this corner. And we're just going to kill them. Or most of them. Alrighty, and now it's time for the final boss. So now you got to fight this old general guy named Kim. He's pretty annoying. He's one of the harder bosses in the game. There are other bosses in other categories that are pretty tough, but yeah, this guy's annoying. He's actually the final boss in 2 of the 3 major categories for this game. He's the final boss in the poor ending and the best ending. In the average ending, you fight a different guy as the final boss, but yeah, but you don't really find out, like, the story. Like, the goal of the story is to try to figure out who killed your dad, but you don't really find out in this ending. And you just end up kicking the general guy off the roof. But yeah, what we're doing in this fight, this guy's pretty tough. He's really aggressive, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to combo him into walls and corners. And it looks like I got him in the corner pretty nicely there. So we're just kicking him whenever we can, blocking his attacks because they can be pretty annoying. He's got a lot of really tough attacks that can do quite a lot of damage, but if you're careful, you can fight him pretty well. You don't have to worry about getting killed on the fight. Yeah, we're just kicking this guy, beating him up. Just trying to get a combo. We get a little bit low on health, but it's not really a big deal. One thing I noticed about this game is that some of the hand-to-hand fights, they have bounce back mechanics where, so if you do too much damage to a fight hand-to-hand at first, then they become more aggressive. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, the timing ends when we get the final hit on General Kim. It looks like that should be any second now. Yeah, and that is it. 38:45. This was actually a voiceover for the world record that I set for this game a few days ago. I got the 38:45 on, I think it was February 28th. 28th or 27th. But yeah, this guy, he just falls off of the roof. Yeah, he is dead. We do not find out the truth of the mystery of who killed our dad, but it doesn't matter. Because there's other categories. But yeah, that's it for True Crime Streets of LA. Hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. Thank you for your consideration. I'm Cullen Wino, and I'm out.